Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you.
Good day to you. You want to cheer?
Well, welcome back to Go Retire. I'm Elaine, and I'm retired.
My name's Mike, and I am not retired. Still not retired.
So today,
That made me feel a little bit sad.
So on today's episode of Go Retire, we wanted to talk about how do I actually retire?
I have a question.
Sure.
How do I actually retire?
Well, like what we actually
You've
need-
retired,
Yes.
right? Yes. So how did you do it?
What we're talking about is not the years leading up to retirement, the saving of the money and all of that stuff. We're saying all of that is in place, and now it's the actual step of giving your notice. Or
What do you got to do? Yeah. Do you have to register with the government?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
I never did.
Okay.
I never told the government.
Okay. You don't have to do that. Do you have to? What do you have to do? What is it? I would like to do it.
Well, since I've done it, I'll share with you what I did.
Please do.
So at my employer, because it was a large corporate employer, they actually had in their HR policies that I could research on my own that told me what steps I needed to do to retire.
I've looked this up at my place of employment as well. They
Great.
Step 1, step 2, step 3, very vague and kind of.
But that pertains if you are retiring and taking a pension from your employer, right?
My work doesn't have a pension, so.
Okay. In my case, it was a slightly different because although I called it retirement, technically I terminated working for my employer.
So it's kind of just like you just quit your job, really.
Basically, yeah. But after 32 years.
Because your employer might have certain criteria, rules that say you have to work here, you have to be at least age 55 to retire. You must have worked here for at least 25 years to retire.
So really what we're saying is the first step is to understand the rules of what you need to do to retire from your employer. If that is the option that you're choosing.
But really, it's really just quitting your job. Is that not it?
Well, for me it was.
What's it going to be for me? Is it really, do I just quit my job?
A factor to consider is how long of a notification do you give your employer?
How much notice do you have to give? Is there a rule? Is there a law? What did you do?
Well, in our research, we've determined that to quit your job, the expectation would be 2 weeks.
But they're really, from what I have looked this up recently. Thank you to search engines around the world. There's really no rule.
But I mean, if you've worked at your employer for a long time, like I had, I also wanted to go out on a positive note and be courteous and respectful. So I gave 6 to 7 weeks notice.
But you had already talked about it beforehand.
I had voiced,
like, unofficially told
I
your
gave
boss.
them 3 to 4 months.
And they
didn't believe me though.
They didn't believe you.
No.
They didn't believe it was going to actually happen.
No.
So did they prepare?
They did not.
No,
Absolutely not. Even when I gave them 6 to 7 weeks notice, which you would think would have been plenty of time to hire and have somebody in place before I left, they didn't. So
did it make your life easier or harder to give that much extra notice?
Well, by giving extra notice, then you start getting treated differently almost immediately. Because now
it's like you're dead to me?
You're dead to me. Exactly.
Okay.
So again, there's no one rule that says this is the amount of time that you have to give. Each of you would have to make your own decision. I wrote up a letter. I drafted my own letter. You can Google, resignation letters, and you find them whatever.
I have a letter too.
Right.
Just so you know.
Yeah. And then I emailed that to my manager and said, here's my date. Here's the date that I'm leaving.
And have a good day, sir.
And have a good day.
Yeah. So really, that's it. That's how do you do it? That's really you just tell them, and then you stop showing up.
Yeah, but you're simplifying things because
how hard is it?
There's things you have to consider to prepare for your retirement.
Sure.
To leave.
We can get into that part, but really the question.
You're talking about
the question. The question was, how do I retire? How do I do it?
Mm-hmm.
And really, you just say, "Hey, boss, I'm 2 weeks from Tuesday. I'm not going to be here anymore." Really, that's it.
And then you go, "Yay!"
Okay. So cheer and like and subscribe. Share it with a friend.
Comment.
And we'll see you all next time.
Thanks from Milena Mike at Go Retire.